Howdy, welcome to Oogie's Tech Talks. I'm glad to have you here. So let's get to it, shall we? Sweaty Cup, welcome to another edition of Oogie's Tech Talks. Today I'm standing here in front of a 125 megahertz right-hand circular helical antenna because we're going to be doing front-to-back tests. In other words, we're going to test this thing with its forward gain to make sure that it has the gain we designed it for, and then we're going to spin the silly thing around and we're going to look at it from the backside and make sure that that back lobe receive energy is low. So let's get to it. So as you can see, we've just put up a dual log periodic antenna with a horizontally polarized plane and a vertically polarized plane. Next, we're going to be adding the beamforming network, in this case a rat race coupler, a rat race 90-degree hybrid, so that we can produce circular polarity out of this, so that we can test that. So, this is how this stuff gets done. Let's keep at it. So, here's the rig for doing front to back and forward gain testing. And if you look at the screen right there, you'll see that right now the antenna is pointed backwards. So this is what the entire gain plot looks like when I'm looking at the antenna in exactly the wrong direction, opposite the direction it's supposed to be. And it's supposed to have a lot of isolation front to back. So now I'm going to spin that sucker around and we'll see what happens to this trace. Let's go see what it looks like. And now, once we get a close-up of this, you'll be able to see that that trace came from way down here all the way up to here. And this is its band of operation. I just kind of left this thing open a little bit wider just to see what this antenna would do out of band. But yeah, that was my front to back test. There you go. Hey, thanks for sharing the day with us. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. Oh, one more thing. This is a rat race 3dB hybrid coupler. All right, so in order to illustrate front to back, we've actually got a nice little model that we've built here. And so we can actually run gain models and we can look at forward gain and the front to back ratio. Now the front to back ratio, as I was explaining, when you build an antenna, you want all the energy pushed forward. You don't really want it going back behind you because that's not your recipient. And also, and so you can see with this one, looking at it from an elevation perspective, the majority of the power is going forward, and these are in 10 dB increments all the way down. So you can see that the back radiation is 20 dB down, which means that any noise coming in this way is going to be 20 dB lower than the noise when it's pointing forward. And if you look at it from just a plot perspective, you can see the same thing on azimuth, and you can actually look at a model of the antenna itself just to see how well it's doing. You can see where all the current is. This is where the current flow is from the driven element. In this case, this is a 5-element Yagi, and it's got a reflector in the back, it's got a driven element, it's got a first, second, third, and fourth director, and you can see how each one of these is responding to it. In this case, we wanted to build this model because we knew we were going to have another metal piece in there. Let's turn current off. And we wanted to see if that was going to affect the front to back ratio on this thing or affect the gain. But back to the other thing, front to back is literally the ratio of how much power you're sending forward versus the performance of the antenna in the forward direction versus the reverse direction. That's about it. Hey, thanks again, everybody. And to my darling wife, darling, I love you so.